Have you been feeling overwhelmed recently? One of the women in my community has, and she asked, what are some ways to prioritize during overwhelm? If you're feeling this way and want some solutions, then this episode is for you. Hello, lovely dynamic women. Welcome to the Dynamic Women podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And today I'm going to talk about the 3 different ways to prioritize during overwhelm. Overwhelm can feel like there's so much on your plate. You don't even know where to focus, where to start. Like, what's even the point? All you want to do is scroll your phone or go to sleep. I felt like that in different points in my life. Overwhelm at home, overwhelm with my family, overwhelm in my business, or maybe even overwhelm in my health. That's possible too. And the issue in these overwhelmed times is you can't focus. You are not going to be able to be at your best, to utilize your skills properly. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about 3 different ways that you can prioritize during overwhelm so that you can start to get things done, so that you can start to lift the burden off your shoulders and feel more relaxed and like you can get ahead. The first step or the first way is to brain dump. You've maybe heard this expression before. So I encourage you, if you're listening right now and you're feeling overwhelmed, do this process. So after I explain it, hit pause. So take a piece of paper, a notepad, whatever you got, an empty envelope and a pen, and you're just going to write down all of the things that you have on your mind. Now, these can be in 2 categories. So you can even put them on one side of the sheet and the other side of the sheet. So make it like a T shape. On the top of the left column, you're going to write things to do. On the right side, you're going to write things on my mind. Because a thing on your mind might be the health of a child, if a business deal is going to go through or not. And the things to do could be obvious, right? You got to do laundry if it's your house. Maybe you need to do like call and book a hotel, these sort of smaller things that might have to do more with your life. And maybe other things to do would be create a course, get some more clients. So they might be really specific goals. They might be more obscure and you're not sure, like things to do, lose weight. Like, well, what does that mean? So you're not going to judge anything. You're just going to spend, start with like 2 minutes on the clock and just dump everything down that's on your mind around things to do and a whole bunch of things around that are on your mind. Maybe they're worrying you and you have to deal with them, focus on them at some point. So that brain dump after 2 minutes, if you're going to do that, you can pause now and go and do that. You might need 5 minutes, who knows? But again, as you're writing these things down, you're not thinking about how am I going to do it? When am I going to do it? No. The only job you have right now is to write them down. Then once that is done, we're going to put that aside. Okay. Because that's like, we just wanted to clear our minds. It's kind of like closing all the open tabs when you have a browser open, or you open up your computer and you see how from last time, like all the different software open. It's like closing each of those down. Then I encourage you to get a bird's eye view, a higher view of your life. And you're going to do that by using a tool I call the Wheel of Life. It is a professional coaching tool that I use with my clients. And if you want me to help you to take you through this, then I can. If you want to have a copy of 3 Simple Steps to Get Ahead or Get What You Want, we have different versions of it, then please shoot me an email, Diane Rolston, or check the notes. We'll put something in there. So we do the bird's eye view of your whole life to see your level of satisfaction in each area. Because when you intuitively answer what your satisfaction is in each area, we're going to start to see where the problems are lying, where the dissatisfaction and then lack of alignment are going to be. A lot of times this is really eye-opening for my clients because they go, oh, wow, I didn't realize those areas were good, but those areas were bad. Okay. And it really helps, though, to see where the issue really is. So you may have lots of stuff to do, but that's not the issue. The issue might come from lack of satisfaction in your relationship, Could be with your health. It could be something else that's just causing you to not be able to handle life's tasks or business activities that you normally would do. So by the end of doing the Wheel of Life, you're going to be able to see where the issue is, and you're going to use that then to decide, okay, if the number is here, where do I want it to be in 6 to 12 months? That's going to help you to know where the difference is, right? So we're not going to focus on what's super bad. We're going to focus on where you want to be and then see about helping you to get there. But in order to be able to kind of move forward at this point, we go into the third way, which is going into maintenance mode. I talk about this with clients who, let's say, have something that's been sprung upon them, a flood in their house, maybe a sick child, maybe they're having trouble themselves, like my recent knee injury slowed me down. So in those moments of something coming up surprisingly, or maybe it's a busy time in the business, there's lots of things happening, or you're traveling a lot and there's a lot of kind of responsibilities on you, or it could be, as you know, some clients have gone into a job for a while and then had to put their business kind of on the side. And so instead we go into maintenance mode, a way of just maintaining the basics of where you need to be. So you can think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's not just taking care of the basic needs, but it's taking care of some of the other priorities. And you're like, well, what are those? Well, when you have the Wheel of Life, you can see where the priority is. And then when you go into maintenance mode, you're also going to go back to your brain dump and you're going to ask yourself, which of these can I not do right now? So schedule for later. Which of these can I completely delete because it just doesn't matter? Like, do I really have to bake for the kids' bake sale? Could I just go buy some cookies? Is that easier? Can I just take a pass this time and ask someone else to bake twice and I'll bake, double next time? Or maybe things just don't need to be done, right? The other piece is you could delegate. So pass work off to someone else. I know when I get super busy and overwhelmed, I look to my two main virtual assistants, Christine and Carissa, and they are just such a blessing for me in my business. I know when I'm overwhelmed, I can just pass things off and have them figure it out. Because a lot of times when I'm overwhelmed, my ability for my brain to commute high level things is just not there. So delegating is great. Deleting is great. And everything else that is left that you're not going to reschedule, do later, put on hold for now, you need to be focusing on just those pieces. So maybe if we look at the Wheel of Life, maybe the most important areas are your health, maybe your children, and your clients in your business. Okay. So maybe things like writing your book needs to be put on hold. Keeping the house super clean doesn't have to happen right now. It just has to be livable. And maybe in your health, you still have to exercise, you still need the good sleep, you still need good food, but maybe the change is that you're not going to be the one preparing all the meals. A family member does because you delegate, or maybe even this is the time where you get some healthy meals made for you so that you can still honor that priority, but you're in maintenance mode so that you can keep going and you use that as a tool to be able to keep going. We want to think of it kind of like if you were juggling, and I've got a whole nother episode on this. If you were juggling balls, and the balls are the priorities or the things in your life, if you have too many things going, you're eventually going to drop the balls, right? And the trouble with that is you end up dropping the glass balls, the priorities, the things that really matter. So you start burning the candle at both ends. You're not sleeping as much. You're eating poorly. Your health declines, right? You get sick, or maybe you have an illness that's then triggered. Or maybe you drop a glass ball, which is your clients, and they are angry at you, and then they stop working with you, which means you have an increased stress now of trying to bring in more clients. Or another glass ball might be your children, and you have to care for them, and you have no one else to support you, and you just kind of throw them in front of the TV, and your relationship's broken, or things don't go well for a longer period of time. So you have to think, what are my glass balls? What are those areas? Go back to Wheel of Life. What are those areas that are super important? Go back to your brain dump. Which are the things that actually I need to be doing? Those are the things, those are the glass balls that you want to keep juggling. And the same time, letting the rubber balls, the ones that don't matter as much right now, like maybe the clean house, preparing your own meals, you being the one creating all the social media graphics, pass off, delete, delegate, postpone, push all those aside, or just don't worry about it as much. Those balls can drop and bounce. And when you're ready, you can scoop them up, pick them up later. But for now, in maintenance mode, it's not as important. So this question did come from the Dynamic Women online Facebook community. If you're not a part of it, I invite you to be. I like to jump in there with really great questions that are thought-provoking, also some tips and tricks, as well as me doing some trainings in there. Plus, there's a lot of cool women. So I invite you to join that group. It is a free online group for you. And if you want to do the Wheel of Life, or you think that I can support you in reducing your overwhelm, then let's have a discussion. You know, one way of doing it is not the way for everyone. And so even these 3 ways might not hit the mark, or you might need to go a little bit deeper. And so that's when having a conversation would make sense. So thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. I don't always hear from my listeners, hear from you. So please put a comment in there. Let me know what you liked about this episode. Also know that you can hit subscribe and share with a friend. And if you're going to do a review, please screenshot it, email it over to team@dianerolston.com with your mailing address. We'll send you a little something special in the mail. That is like snail mail. Yeah, pretty cool, eh? Okay, until next time, everyone, stay dynamic. Bye.